I never planned on being a liar. But here I am living a double life that's eating me up inside. Darla thinks she's got the perfect husband, but if she knew what was really going on in my head, she'd run for the hills. Kevin, honey, can you pass the salt? Darla asks, smiling at me across the dinner table. I hand it over, forcing a grin. Here you go, babe. My mind's elsewhere. Thinking about the guy I saw at the gym earlier. His biceps, his abs. Christ, what's wrong with me? You okay? Darla's voice snaps me back to reality. You seem distracted. Yeah, just work stuff, I lie, shoving a forkful of food into my mouth to avoid more questions. Later that night, I'm lying in bed, Darla fast asleep next to me. I can't stop thinking about how I ended up here, married to my best friend, living a lie and fighting these urges that won't go away. I get up, careful not to wake her, and head to the bathroom. Splashing cold water on my face, I look at myself in the mirror. Who the hell are you, Kevin? I don't recognize the guy staring back at me anymore. The next morning, I'm nursing a hangover from my late-night pity party when Dennis bursts into our apartment, soaked to the bone and limping. What the hell happened to you? I ask, wincing at the volume of my own voice. Dennis grins sheepishly. Thought I'd try roller skating in the rain. Didn't end well. I roll my eyes. No shit, Sherlock. Let me take a look. As I help him to the bathroom, he leans on me, his wet clothes soaking through mine. I can feel the heat of his body and it sends a jolt through me that I try to ignore. Oh, fuck, Dennis hisses as he tries to take his shorts off. Here, let me help, I say, my heart racing as I reach for his waistband. Dude, I'm not that hurt, he laughs, but doesn't stop me. I help him into the shower, trying not to stare as the water cascades over his body, but as I'm handing him the soap, our hands touch, and I feel that spark again. Kevin, Dennis's voice snaps me back to reality. You okay, man? You look weird. I shake my head, trying to clear it. Yeah, just thinking about the football match tomorrow. We're screwed without you. But as I help him rinse off, I can't shake this new feeling. It's like seeing Dennis for the first time, and it's terrifying. After that shower incident with Dennis, I can't get him out of my head. It's like a switch flipped. And now I'm hyper-aware of every little thing he does. A few days later, we're chilling in our apartment, pizza boxes scattered around us, empty beer bottles on the coffee table. Dennis is laughing at some stupid joke I made, and I find myself staring at his lips. Earth to Kevin, he says, waving a hand in front of my face. You zoned out again, man. I blink, feeling my face heat up. Sorry, I just... And then it happens. I don't know if it's the beer or the pent-up confusion, but I lean in and kiss him. It's awkward, hesitant, and over in a second. Dennis pulls back, his eyes wide. Dude, what the fuck? I don't know, I stammer, panic rising in my chest. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. He stands up abruptly, knocking over an empty bottle. I think I should go. As the door slams behind him, I'm left sitting there, my head in my hands. What have I done? I've just kissed my roommate, my best friend, and I'm married, for fuck's sake. The silence in the apartment is deafening. I can still taste him on my lips, and it's driving me crazy. But the guilt, oh God, the guilt is overwhelming. I reach for my phone, my finger hovering over Darla's number, but what would I even say? Instead, I grab my keys and head out. I need a drink, or 10. Anything to forget what just happened. The hangover from last night is killing me, but it's nothing compared to the guilt eating me up inside. I've been avoiding Dennis like the plague, and now I'm standing outside our apartment, a bouquet of flowers in my sweaty hand. I take a deep breath and unlock the door. Darla, I call out, my voice shaky. She appears from the kitchen, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the flowers, but then she sees my face and her smile fades. Kevin, what's wrong? I thrust the flowers at her. I've been a shitty husband lately. I'm sorry. Darla takes the bouquet, her brow furrowed. Is this about the late nights? The drinking. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. She sighs and puts the flowers on the coffee table. Talk to me, Kevin, what's going on with you? I open my mouth, but the words won't come. How can I tell her about Dennis? About the confusion and desire tearing me apart? It's just work stress, I lie, hating myself for it, but I've been dealing with it badly. I'll do better, I promise. Darla's eyes search mine, and for a terrifying moment I think she can see right through me. But then she nods and pulls me into a hug. We'll get through this, she whispers. As I hold her, I catch a glimpse of our wedding photo on the wall. The happy couple smiling back at me feels like strangers now. I've never felt more alone. The neon sign of jade flickers as I push open the door, the familiar smell of stale beer and desperation hitting me like a punch to the gut. It's become my second home lately, a place where I can drown my guilt and confusion in cheap whiskey. The usual Kev Joe, the bartender, asks as I slump onto a stool. I nod, not trusting my voice. He slides a glass my way and I down it in one go, savoring the burn. Rough day, a guy next to me asks. He's good looking in that rugged way that makes my stomach flip. Rough life, I mutter, signaling Joe for another. The guy chuckles, I hear that. I'm Mike. Kevin, I reply, shaking his offered hand. His touch lingers a bit too long, and I feel that familiar spark of attraction. We start talking, and before I know it, we're 4 drinks deep and laughing like old friends. Mike's hand is on my knee, and I'm not moving it away. You want to get out of here, he asks, his voice low and husky. For a moment, I'm tempted. So fucking tempted. But then Darla's face flashes in my mind, followed by Dennis's. I can't, I stammer, standing up abruptly. I gotta go. I stumble out of the bar, the cool night air hitting me like a slap. What the fuck am I doing? I'm married, for Christ's sake, to a woman. But here I am, getting hammered and almost hooking up with some random guy. As I flag down a cab, I realize I'm crying. The driver gives me a concerned look in the rearview mirror. You okay, buddy? I wipe my eyes, laughing bitterly. No, man, I'm really not. The front door slams behind me as I stumble in. The room's spinning. It's late, or early. I can't tell anymore. Kevin Darla's voice cuts through the fog in my head. She's sitting on the couch, still in her work clothes. Shit. Hey babe, I slur, trying to act casual. What you doing up? She stands, her face a mix of anger and concern. Where have you been? It's 3 a.m. Out, I mumble, avoiding her eyes. With friends? Friends, she scoffs. You reek of booze and is that cologne? My stomach drops. Fuck, Mike must vive. Kevin Darla's voice breaks. What's going on with you? This isn't like you. You. I want to tell her everything. About Dennis, about the bar, about the war raging inside me, but the words stick in my throat. Nothing's going on, I lie, the taste of bile rising in my mouth. I'm fine. Bullshit, she yells, making me flinch. You're out all night, coming home drunk. You barely look at me anymore. Are you? Are you seeing someone else? The question hangs in the air, heavy and accusing. I should deny it, reassure her. But I'm tired of lying. I don't know who I am anymore, Darla, I whisper, collapsing onto the couch. She sits next to me, her anger replaced by worry. What do you mean? I shake my head, unable to explain. How do you tell your wife you might be gay? I need help, I finally choke out. Darla takes my hand, squeezing it tight. We'll figure this out, okay? Together. But as she holds me, all I can think is, how can we fix this when I'm not sure I want to be fixed? The next morning, my head's pounding and my mouth tastes like something died in it. I'm nursing a coffee when I hear Darla on the phone in the other room. Sam, I really think you should come stay with us for a while, she's saying, her voice low and urgent. I freeze, straining to hear more. It's not easy dealing with all this on your own, Darla continues. Kevin's been a great friend, he can offer some guidance and support. My stomach churns, and it's not just the hangover. Sam? Her brother? And what the hell does she mean by guidance and support? I hear Darla hang up and take a deep breath before walking into the kitchen. She jumps when she sees me. Oh, Kevin, I didn't realize you were up. Was that Sam, I ask, trying to keep my voice neutral. She nods, busying herself with making tea. Yeah, he's going through some stuff. I thought maybe he could stay with us for a bit. What kind of stuff, I press? A knot forming in my gut. Darla hesitates, then sighs. He's come out as gay. Our parents aren't taking it well, and I thought. She trails off, but I can fill in the blanks. She thought I could help. Me, the closeted mess of a husband. That's great that you want to support him, I managed to say, my mind reeling. Darla smiles, relief evident on her face. Thanks, Kev, I knew you'd understand. As she leaves the room, I slump against the counter. Sam's coming. Sam, who's out and proud. Sam, who Darla thinks I can help. But who's going to help me? The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Darla's standing there, looking at me expectantly while I'm trying to process the bomb she just dropped. You invited Sam without even asking me. I finally managed, my voice tight. Darla's smile falters. I thought you'd be okay with it. He needs our help, Kevin. Our help, I laugh bitterly. Or my help, because that's what this is really about, isn't it? Her eyes widen. What do you mean? I heard you on the phone. Darla, you think I can offer him guidance and support? Me? Well, yeah, she says, confusion evident in her voice. You're his brother-in-law, and you've always been so understanding about what I snap, my frustration boiling over. About being gay? What makes you think I know anything about that? The words hang in the air between us, loaded with implications I'm not ready to face. Darla takes a step back, hurt flashing across her face. I just thought. You've been so distant lately, and I thought maybe what I press, my heart pounding, maybe I'm gay too? Is that it? No, she exclaims, but there's a flicker of doubt in her eyes that makes my stomach churn. Jesus Christ, Darla, I mutter, running a hand through my hair. You can't just make decisions like this without talking to me. This is my home too. I'm sorry, she says quietly. I was just trying to help. I sigh, the fight draining out of me. I know. But next time ask me first, okay? She nods and I can see tears forming in her eyes. I want to comfort her. to tell her everything's okay, but I can't. Because nothing's okay and I'm terrified of what Sam's arrival might unearth. As I walk out of the room, I hear Darla's muffled sobs, and all I can think is, what the hell have I gotten myself into? After that blowout with Darla, I needed to blow off some steam, so I did what I do best lately, hit the bar. One drink turned into 5, and before I knew it, I was in the middle of a full-blown brawl. "You got a problem, asshole," some meathead yelled in my face. "Yeah, you're breathing my air," I slurred back. Next thing I know, fists are flying. I took a few good hits, but I gave as good as I got. The bouncer eventually broke it up and tossed us out. I stumbled home, my head spinning from booze and adrenaline. The house was dark when I got in. Thank God, I thought. No Darla to deal with tonight. I made my way to the bedroom, stripped down to my boxers, and collapsed into bed. The room was still spinning, but I didn't care. I just wanted to pass out and forget everything. Just as I was drifting off, I felt the bed shift. In my drunken haze, I reached out, seeking comfort. My arm found a warm body, and I instinctively pulled it closer. "Darla," I mumbled. But the body was firmer, more muscular than Darla's. I opened my eyes, trying to focus in the dim light. And that's when I saw him. Sam in my bed, half naked. "What the fuck?" I yelped, jerking away. Sam bolted upright, looking just as shocked as I felt. "Kevin? What are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" "This is my fucking bedroom," I shouted, then winced as my head throbbed. Before Sam could respond, the door flew open. Darla stood there, her eyes wide with shock and hurt. "Kevin?" "Sam," her voice cracked. What's going on?" And just like that, my world imploded. The silence in the room is deafening. Darla's standing there, tears streaming down her face, while Sam and I are tangled in the sheets, both of us too shocked to move. "Darla," it's not I start, but she cuts me off. "Don't you dare say it's not what it looks like," she screams, her voice raw with emotion. Sam finally finds his voice. "Sis, I swear nothing happened. I just got in late and..." "And what?" "Decided to crawl into bed with my husband." Darla's laugh is bitter, hysterical. I scramble out of bed, nearly tripping over my own feet. "Darla, please let me explain." But as I reach for her, she recoils like I'm poison. "Don't touch me." The hurt in her eyes is like a knife to my gut. I've seen that look before in the mirror, every time I lied to her. I think I should go," Sam mumbles, grabbing his clothes. Darla rounds on him. "Oh no, you don't get to run away from this. Both of you, living room now?" As we shuffle out, I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror. My face is bruised from the bar fight, my eyes bloodshot. I look as wrecked on the outside as I feel on the inside. In the living room, Darla paces back and forth, her arms wrapped tightly around herself. "I want the truth. Now." I open my mouth, but what can I say? That I'm questioning everything about myself? That I'm attracted to her brother? That I'm sorry for being such a fucking mess? Instead, all that comes out is a choked sob. I don't know what the truth is anymore. "Darla, I'm lost." As the words hang in the air, I realize it's the most honest thing I've said in months. After that night, everything changed. Darla insisted Sam move out, and I couldn't blame her. The tension in the house was unbearable. A week later, I'm sitting in a cafe, my hands wrapped around a steaming mug of coffee. The bell above the door chimes, and I look up to see Sam walk in. "Hey," he says, sliding into the seat across from me. "Hey," I reply, not meeting his eyes. "Thanks for, agreeing to meet." He shrugs. "Figured we should talk. Clear the air." We sit in awkward silence for a moment before I blurt out, "I'm sorry for everything." Sam sighs. "It's not your fault." Kevin, "Well, not entirely. I should have been more careful." "No, it's more than that, I admit." Finally looking at him, "I've been struggling with some things." His eyes soften. "Yeah, I kind of figured. I want to talk about it." And just like that, the floodgates open. I tell him everything about Dennis, about the bar, about the confusion and guilt I've been carrying. Sam listens without judgment, nodding occasionally. When I finish, he reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. "It's okay, he says softly, "to be confused, to question things." For the first time in months, I feel a weight lift off my shoulders. "Yeah." He smiles. "Yeah, and for what it's worth, I'm here if you need someone to talk to." As we continue chatting, I realize how easy it is to talk to Sam, how comfortable I feel around him. And for the first time, I allow myself to wonder, is this what it feels like to be true to yourself? After that first coffee with Sam, it's like a dam breaks. We start meeting regularly, grabbing lunch or just hanging out in the park. It's different from my friendship with Dennis. There's an ease and understanding that I've never experienced before. One afternoon, we're sprawled on the grass in the park, the sun warm on our faces. Sam's telling me about his coming out journey, and I'm hanging on every word. "It wasn't easy," he says, plucking at the grass. But man, the relief when I finally told everyone. It was like I could breathe for the first time. I turned to look at him, feeling a mix of envy and admiration. "But weren't you scared?" And he laughs, terrified, but living a lie was scarier. His words hit me like a punch to the gut. Living a lie. Isn't that exactly what I've been doing? Sam, I start, my heart racing. I think I might be gay. The words hang in the air between us. Sam sits up, his eyes serious. Yeah, he says softly, how long have you known? I shake my head, feeling tears prick at my eyes. I don't know. Forever? Never? It's all so confusing. He reaches out, squeezing my shoulder. It's okay, Keeve, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. As I look at him, I feel a rush of something. Gratitude? Attraction? Both? Thanks, Sam, I whisper. For everything. He smiles, and for a moment I forget about Darla, about the mess I've made of my life. All I can think is, this feels right. But as the sun starts to set and we head our separate ways, reality crashes back in. What am I going to do about Darla? About my marriage? About the life I've built on a foundation of lies? I don't have the answers, but for the first time I'm not terrified of finding out. After weeks of secret meetups and late-night talks, Sam and I decide to take a short road trip, just us, the open road, and no complications. Or so we thought. We're cruising down the highway, windows down, music blasting, Sam singing off key to some pop song, and I can't stop laughing. You're butchering that, you know, I tease. He grins. Oh, like you could do better. The next thing I know, we're both belting out the chorus, not caring how ridiculous we sound. For the first time in forever, I feel free. We pull into a small motel as the sun's setting. The guy at the desk gives us a weird look when we ask for a room, but I'm too buzzed on happiness to care. The room's small with just one bed. We both pause, the implications hanging in the air. I can sleep on the floor, Sam offers, but his eyes say something else. Don't be stupid, I reply, my heart racing. We can share. We get ready for bed in silence, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. As we lie there in the dark, I can feel the heat from Sam's body next to me. Kevin, he whispers. I turn to face him. Yeah. And then he's kissing me. And I'm kissing him back. And it's everything I've been afraid to want. We break apart, both breathing hard. Is this okay, Sam asks, his voice husky. Instead of answering, I pull him back in for another kiss. For once, I'm not thinking about Darla or what this means or how fucked up everything is. I'm just existing in this moment with Sam. As things heat up, there's a sudden loud knock at the door. We freeze, panic setting in. Police? Open up. Fuck, what have we gotten ourselves into now? My heart's pounding as I scramble out of bed, throwing on my clothes. Sam does the same, his face pale with fear. Just a minute, I call out, trying to keep my voice steady. I open the door to find two stern-faced officers standing there. Good evening, gentlemen. We received a report of suspicious activity in this area. Can we see your identification, please? Hand shaking, I pull out my wallet. Sam does the same. As they inspect our IDs, one officer's eyes narrow. What's the nature of your relationship? Sam and I exchange panicked glances. We're friends, I stammer. The officers don't look convinced. The tension in the room is suffocating. Suddenly, a familiar voice cuts through the silence. Officers, I can vouch for them? I whirl around to see Darla standing in the doorway, her face a mask of determination. Mom, who are you? One officer asks. I'm Darla, Kevin's wife, she says, stepping forward. Her eyes meet mine, and I see a mix of pain and resolve. There's been a misunderstanding. Kevin's not involved in any immoral activities. He's not gay. In fact, he's happily married to me, right, love? Of. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I open my mouth, but no sound comes out. The officers look between us, clearly confused. After what feels like an eternity, they hand back our IDs. All right then. Sorry for the inconvenience, one mutters, and they leave. As the door closes, the three of us stand in stunned silence. Darla, my wife, who I've been lying to, Sam, the man I think I'm falling for, and me, caught in the middle of a mess entirely of my own making. Darla, I finally choke out. How did you? She holds up a hand, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. We need to talk. All of us. The tension in the room is palpable as Darla, Sam, and I stand there. The echo of the police's departure still hanging in the air. Darla's the first to break the silence. I've known for a while, Kevin, she says, her voice surprisingly calm. I didn't want to believe it. I feel like I'm going to be sick. Darla, She holds up a hand, cutting me off. Let me finish. I love you, Kevin, you're my best friend, and that's why. That's why I can't keep watching you tear yourself apart. She reaches into her bag and pulls out an envelope. Here, she says, handing it to me with trembling hands. I open it, confusion turning to shock as I see what's inside. 2 plane tickets to the States. A wad of cash, and a note. All I had. Hope it helps. Love, your best friend and wife. Darla, what is this? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. She smiles sadly. It's your chance at freedom, Kevin, both of you. Sam steps forward, his eyes wide. Sis, you can't. I can, and I am. Darla interrupts. You too. You deserve to be happy, to be who you really are, and you can't do that here. I feel tears streaming down my face. But what about you? Darla takes my hand, squeezing it gently. I'll be okay. Knowing you're happy. That's enough for me. As the reality of what she's offering sinks in, I'm overwhelmed by a mix of grief, gratitude, and hope. This is it. The chance to start over, to be true to myself. I look at Sam, seeing my own tumultuous emotions reflected in his eyes, and back to Darla, my wife, my best friend, who's giving us the greatest gift imaginable. Thank you, I whisper, pulling her into a tight hug. As we stand there, the three of us locked in an embrace, I realize that this isn't an ending. It's a beginning. A chance to finally live authentically, to love without fear. And for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of what comes next.